to Delhi, and I had met some of the honorable ministers in the government of India, and certain updates I would like to give to all of you. I had meeting with a large number of ministers, and this of course is the first phase, and I will go once again and meet the rest of the ministers, including the Honorable Prime Minister and the Defence and the Home Minister also. In the meeting that we had with the donor minister, I apprised him about the different projects that were pending with the ministry, and I'm very happy to inform that the Honorable Minister has given assurance that all the pending projects that are there, which are lying with the ministry, will be cleared at the earliest. At the same time, I had requested to him that the guidelines that are there in the ministry and donor are very, very complicated, and hence they need to be streamlined. And a normal project sometimes takes a year and a half even to reach an approval stage, and hence easing of the guidelines would help in the overall process of the projects being approved and implemented. It would make it much faster. So I've requested and urged the Honorable Minister to review the guidelines, and accordingly the Honorable Minister has assured me that he is already examining the guidelines and they should be reviewed very soon. I also had the opportunity to meet the Civil Aviation Minister, and we have requested the Civil Aviation Ministry to allow 2 shifts in the Mumbai airport, because then that would allow flights to take off early, at the same time some evening and late night flights also to land. Since the facilities are there in Mumbai airport for night landing, this would allow more planes and more flights to be connected, and the timings to be slightly more flexible. So the Honorable Minister has assured that he will look into this matter. I'm very hopeful that this should go through, and if this goes through, as I said, there'll be much more flexibility in the operations of the different airlines that is currently operating. At the same time, I apprised him about the projects of the heliports that were being proposed for Shillong and for Tura, and he has assured that he will expedite that. This is also at a very advanced stage of approval and for sanction, and this will ensure that a proper infrastructure is available for the landing and the parking of the different helicopter services that are running now, and also we hope to expand in the future. I also apprised him about the expansion of the runway at the Baljik airport, and also the possibility of starting the flights between Shillong and Tura, and the Honorable Minister has again assured of full support in both these aspects. In my meeting with the Honorable Minister of State for Rural Development, we have asked him and the ministry to streamline the processes of payments in the different projects that are there. Government of Meghalaya has been performing very well in terms of utilization of funds in terms of Rural Development Ministry. For example, last year itself we had almost about 150,000 PMAY houses that were constructed, which is amounting to almost 1,500 crores plus of funds that were given by Centre. At the same time, even for projects like the Manrega projects and the schemes, under those schemes also, Meghalaya has performed well in terms of the utilization that took place. But a lot of the funds and pending bills are stuck with the ministry, especially when it comes to the material component, and hence we have urged the Honorable Minister if he could look into that aspect, as it does affect the overall payment process as well as the implementation of future projects in the state. We had a meeting with the Ministry of Skill, and we met the Honorable Minister for Skill and for Entrepreneurship, and we have discussed about the different programs that we are running in the state, and that we would wish to collaborate with the different programs of the central government's ministry in terms of skill, and how we could converge and work together. At the same time, also ensure that more projects that are state specific and more inclined towards the kind of skills required in Shillong and in the state of Meghalaya could be taken up. We had discussed on those aspects, and we also discussed about the opportunities that existed for our skilled manpower in different parts of the world, and I had shared with him the experience from Japan, and also shared with him that we expect many more nurses to go, as well as other skilled manpower to go to other parts of the world, and that we would require the support of the ministry in terms of different language training and other facilities which we may require from the ministry. We had issue with a meeting with the Ministry of Road and Surface Transport also, and detailed discussions were made on the different pending projects that are there with the Ministry of Road and Surface Transport. And in those many issues project-wise were discussed, and the ministry was very concerned about the fact that land acquisitions were not going at the pace which the ministry had expected. I briefed the Honourable Minister that regarding the Western Bypass, we are almost close to 100% completion of the acquisition part, 90+%, and he expressed happiness in that. I explained to him also that in most of the other locations also, the issue of land acquisition is hardly about a few hundred meters, or maybe maximum a kilometer or 2 kilometers, and therefore we are working and expediting the process and ensuring that it's completed at the earliest. There were some forest issues also, which we have also assured the minister that almost 90% has been resolved. Another few issues have to be resolved, which we assure that within the next couple of months we should be able to resolve those issues also. But what I would like to mention through the press to everyone is that the ministry took a very strong stand on the issues of land acquisition, and to the extent that the Honourable Minister has even mentioned that wherever the issue of land acquisition does take place, and if there is a delay, then if necessary the ministry may even bypass that particular land, and you may find those stretches of 50 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters not being constructed, and again the other parts, then again the construction will continue. So he stated that wherever these issues are there which remain for too long, the ministry may even consider, as I said, cancellation of that section of work, which would ultimately then affect the overall road structure as well as convenience for the people, and it would be a loss for the state. And hence I would like to urge everybody, especially our citizens, that when it comes to these kind of important national highway and road construction, we need all the cooperation from all the citizens so that we don't lose out in these different projects. And from the government side also, we will be very continuously, very efficiently will be following this up, and we expect to resolve all these issues, and we expect coordination and cooperation from the people also in order to do that, so that more and more projects can come in. We also discussed about the big project of the link between from Umroi, Barapani, Umroi, all the way to Jowai, Ratachara and beyond to Silchar, which is almost a 20,000 crore project, and some parts of the land acquisition are pending, and I mean the surveys are pending, and we are having some concerns in some areas. So once again I would like to urge all the citizens that all these issues must be resolved. This is for the good of the state, for the good of the people. Once we have the 4-lane highway going all the way from Barapani to Ratachara, it will only ease the traffic, and in sections where there are landslides that are taking place and different inconveniences taking place, we'll be able to resolve them, because we have proposals to have elevated roads and different kind of support structures in these areas. So therefore all these important discussions were made, and we received a very positive response from the minister. But he also urged that all these pending issues, which are very small in nature, not much, as I said, somewhere 100 meters, 200 meters, somewhere 1 kilometer, those pending issues must be resolved at the earliest.